What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to check out the Poco F2 Pro. Here I'm going to give you my review on this phone that I've been using for almost a month, I would say, and I'm going to go through some bad and some good on this phone. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing here is the build on this phone, and I would say actually it's pretty good. It has a nice curve on the back over here, so actually gripping the phone, it's alright. But I would say it's a little bit heavier compared to my OnePlus 8 Pro and S20 Plus. It's maybe due to its 4700 milliamp battery you get on this phone. Over here on the back, you can see it has a nice, very glossy feel to its back. It's a bit nice to look at, but of course when you go a bit closer and you tap on it and all that, you will notice that it is a little bit more plastic and it does feel a little bit more cheap. And as you go in front over here, you can see it's not playing around. It has a nice 6.67 inch of full screen AMOLED over here. Why I say the full screen here, because sometimes other phones you may have a full cutout, you have a notch or whatsoever. Over here, you don't get any of that nonsense. You get a full screen over here. So you don't have to force your apps to go full screen. You can just get it out of the box like this. This is what you get and what you see. So I do like the fact that it is full screen over here and AMOLED. That is one of the good points. The bad points, I would say that, of course, I am coming from an S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro, and they have a Quad HD Plus or HD Plus setting with up to 120Hz of refresh rate. You don't get that here with the Poco F2 Pro, and it does feel like a downgrade if you're coming from those phones. But of course, if you're coming from phones with an LCD panel on other AMOLED screens, when you come to this, it is really good. Watching content over here, it's very nice. And like I say, it's a flat screen over here, so actually you don't get any accidental touches nonsense and all these things. You get a nice full screen here to watch your content. Next up, we're going to go a little bit deeper to its processor right inside here. Comes with a Snapdragon 865, and I would say this phone is blazingly fast. You guys have seen my speed test with the S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro. It beats out the S20 Plus, no doubt about it. Even with the OnePlus 8 Pro, it does very well. If you want a bit more better RAM management, I would suggest you get an 8GB RAM version. It comes with LPDDR5 compared to this, comes with 4x on the 6GB RAM version. Of course, when you use day to day, you will not notice much of a difference. It is blazingly fast. And diving in a little bit deeper, going on to the skin on top of Android 10 here, this comes with MIUI 12. And I would say this skin is actually pretty nice. I do like a lot of features they have over here. They have a one-handed gesture mode. They have an always on display. They have a quick ball gesture. You have also the double tap to wake and double tap to lock. You guys know I love all these kind of features. And you don't get this sometimes on the Oxygen OS, but you do get it on the One UI on Samsung devices. So overall, I like the MIUI skin on top of it. But of course, it's not as polished or as finished as compared to One UI Oxygen OS. It's a bit clunky and chunky here and there. It did take me some time to get used to it, and I was wondering why, maybe because I'm too used to Oxygen OS. But I did remember when I was going on to One UI, it did take me some time, but not as long as it did on MIUI. Most of the things you have to search for it yourself. Sometimes you kind of meet it accidentally, but overall, it is a nice skin to have. You do get some ads here and there when you download certain apps on the App Store, and it gets pretty annoying sometimes. But like I said again, if you can see all past that after you download all your major apps, it is actually a nice skin to have. Next up though is the speakers on this phone, and this one comes with a downfront speaker here. I would say it's pretty loud. I would give it that, but it's not as dynamic compared to the S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro, which comes with more of a stereo speaker setup. And sometimes if your hand does cover it, it will block out the sound. Going on to the battery performance on this, I would say normally I would just take the next day to probably charge this up. It does give me a nice full day of usage. That's because it's not pushing up to 120 Hz, Quad HD Plus settings and all that. So that 4700 milliamp battery will give you a lot of power in your phone. And if you want to charge this up, you can use its 30 watts right out of the box over here. It charges up your phone just over an hour, and yeah, it gets the job done. It doesn't have wireless charging though. It's not something you really need, but something you really want once you have it. I do have the S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro, which does have wireless charging, and I do have wireless chargers all around the house, so it's actually pretty convenient just to slap it on over there, and it does charge up. Lastly, over here are the cameras on this phone, and I would say actually the cameras are pretty decent. You guys have seen the camera comparison test with the S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro, and I would say they do give very decent shots. They do have a macro lens, that telephoto or super wide angle and all that. So it does give you a bit more versatility when it comes to the camera, but overall, it's not a flagship level, and you don't really buy the Poco F2 Pro for its camera. So that's it. That's my review of the Poco F2 Pro. Do leave a comment down below if you're using this phone or if you're planning to get this phone. It is a very nice phone to have. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something between 4 to 500 USD, depending on where you're from. This is a very nice flagship killer phone you can get in 2020. So that is it. This is Dr. Hammerstag. Do follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube over here. So if you enjoyed this video, do click the like and subscribe button down below. It really helps a lot with the channel. This is Dr. Hammerstag. Stay safe, take care, and wash those hands.